So very good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
So a few days I've been thinking of reasons on how I can postpone this current speech. I was relatively busy this week. A lot of relatives at my home, some holidays. And then my speech was small. I was not sure about the content. But nevertheless, Kaushik, my mentor, said I should give it a go. So I'm here. When I try to talk about myself, there is actually a lot, but it is a little tough to figure out what's relevant for that context. So I decided to convey a little bit about my school, which was a bit unique because it's a residential school, then college, and also a bit about myself. So I did my schooling in Kere, so it's a small town near Hassan. It's a residential school. So the residential schools actually teach us a lot, so about caring, sharing, and so on. And in particular, I was in the second batch where the facility was still not up. So we used to go to a river close by on weekends to wash our clothes. And our jogging early morning was inside the villages, so it was very exciting. And one important thing that the residential school also teaches is the importance of the queue. So you spend a lot of time of your school days in the queue. So the first thing we did in the morning was make a queue and stand in front of a so-called toothpaste leader. So we had to stand in front of him with our brush and he used to squeeze a little bit of paste and everything. So this used to be up. And then you make a queue for your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and at the end of the day, you made another queue for a little bit of mosquito repellent cream and Vaseline and so on in front of the school nurse. So this is so after spending an exciting time and spending a lot of time in the queue, so I decided that I should go back to my native and do my 11th and 12th, that's first PUC and second PUC. So that when I came back, there was a new school, which was new college, which was offering computer science and electronics as the streams in the pre-university. So I was excited with the word computer science. So I said, let's take a look. So my dad arranged for the admission and so on. So I was in this new college. So after a couple of days, actually the things started checking in. The name of the college is Alameen. And my seniors had a record result of 2%. So it was only one guy out of 50 who had cleared his second PUC in my senior batch. So I realized that after I joined. So it was totally different to my school. So in this residential school, I had a science teacher who had a PhD. And my physical education teacher was a state champion kabaddi. And my music teacher was giving performance in radio and TV. So that was the environment. But when I came to Alameen, they were finding it difficult to get lectures. So it was an exciting time. And this is also a place where I was introduced to the 4.5-day working week. So I had a close friend of mine, Rafi, who was also the son of the proprietor of that college. Somehow he didn't like the physics classes, and especially the one on the Friday afternoon. So he said the Friday afternoon physics class is not so great. We encouraged him and said, no class is even better on Friday afternoon. So from the following week, he made sure that after the Friday afternoon prayers, Alameen is shut down. So it's all, the college was kind of closed, so it is the 4.5 days. Other interesting things in the small towns and colleges like Alameen is the internal exams, let's say the first PUC exams. So the day before the exam, I was preparing. A close friend of mine came home and he was asking me answers for some selected questions from random chapters and so on. And he wanted also answers for some multiple choice question answers. So I helped him, but I was curious on his way of preparing for the exam because it was from different chapters and so on. So when I asked him why is he learning in this way, so he conveyed his secret. So his uncle has a printing press, and Alamin gets all the question papers printed from that press. But this guy was not too ambitious, so he was preparing only for the 40, 50 marks and was also generous. So all the answers he got from me, multiple choice answers, he distributed within to his friends. And next day when I went to the college, these answers came back to me, and some the other friend of mine came and said, Raghavendra, it's 1A, 2C. And the answer that I gave was coming back to me. So this was the life at Alumni. But for Bangalore, for engineering, I had to come to Bangalore, and I chose to stay in a community hostel rather than a college hostel. So this was again, as you know, it's a community hostel, slightly strict. They have the doors shut at 9 o'clock and so on. But if the main door closes, there is always another door which can be opened and so on. So for us, it was on the terrace first floor. That was how we lived our life in hostels. It was exciting as well. During this time, I actually got to the habit of reading a lot of books, especially because of the friends who were doing PDMC and so on. I got interested in trading and so on, so I started reading books from successful traders. So books sometimes teach us things like the importance of being practical, non-emotional, and so on, especially the trading books. So I picked up this habit, and this idea was again reinforced in the corporate trainings and seminars. But now, after a couple of years, when I look back, I think some of these traits are slightly overrated, including the planning. So not everything can be planned and needs to be planned. So some things have to be run time, but not this, which is like this has to be planned. Yeah, so I believe life is a journey full of learning and unlearning. So I have taken this new learning path and moving forward.